Hey everyone, Samantha Farley here. Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, welcome. I'm so happy to have all of you here today. I wanted to do a video today about traveling with type 1 diabetes. So I am actually going to Canada tomorrow and I am currently packing up all of my things. And I thought it'd be really important to do a video about traveling and all the necessary items we need to take with us to survive while we're on our trip. So stay tuned. So obviously the most important thing that we need to take with us while traveling is our insulin, right? I mean, that's the most important thing that we have to take with us, and whatever tools you need to take that insulin. So if you're on a pump, obviously you need that. If you're on pens like I am, I have to take pens. Obviously, the most important thing is to take insulin. We don't want to go without insulin. We all know what could happen if we went without insulin, and it's really, really important to take insulin with us. It's a lot easier to travel within the United States. If you're watching, sorry, I am in the United States, so it's a lot easier for me to travel from state to state, because if I were to ever forget my insulin, I could call my pharmacy, they could transfer it within the United States to a local pharmacy based on where my vacation is. But when you go international, it does get a little bit more complicated. It's a whole new country, so you have to be extra prepared, as I like to say, and really just take as much insulin as possible on your trip. So for an example, I'm going to Canada for 5 days. That's not that long of a trip, but it's still really important that I take way more insulin than I actually need on this trip. So what I'm going to do, so I take, as you all know, I take Basaglar in the morning, and then I take Humalog throughout the day for my meals. And for 5 days, I mean, that's one pen, not even, I don't even use a full pen for 5 days. And so you would think naturally that one pen would be good enough, but no. Don't make this mistake. You definitely want to take multiple pens or multiple pumps or whatever the case is in your situation. You want to take about 2 to 3 months worth of insulin, which might seem crazy for a 5-day trip, but you never know what's going to happen, especially in international countries. We don't know what Canada is going to do. Thankfully, Canada is right near the United States. They act very similarly to the United States. And so it's not as nerve-wracking to go to Canada with insulin, but some countries, ones that maybe aren't as common to go to, might take away your insulin. You never really know, and it's really important to take extra. The other thing right now with COVID happening, a lot of people are getting stuck in countries longer than they want to. And so you need to take a lot more insulin just in case you get stuck in that country. For example, if I go to Canada, when I want to come back, I'm going to have to take a COVID test to make sure that I'm negative. If it comes back positive, I will need to stay in Canada for 10 additional days. So now that would make my trip 5 days all the way to 15. And that's the minimum amount that I would have to stay in Canada. So that's, a huge difference. That's a lot of extra insulin that I will need. So I highly recommend taking at least 2 to 3 months of additional insulin. As you can see here, this is my extra insulin. So I actually already have a bag full of my current insulin pens that I'm using, but these are my 2 extra pens. So I have my Basaglar and then my Humalog. These are completely full and they are extra. I also recommend keeping them cold because you don't want them to expire or get, old and warm. So make sure to put a cold ice pack with them. You can get like Frio as a brand. You can just put ice packs. This is a medical situation, so you will be allowed to take medical packs in your bags. So definitely do that. I actually always put my extras in a plastic bag and then I'll add it to a cold pack, but I put it in this plastic bag specifically because it has all the pharmacy information as to why I need this insulin. It's my prescription information. Some countries, like I said, Canada's probably not this way, but some countries might take it away. They might think it's a legit drug that we, are just doing recreationally, and they might take it. And that would be obviously very tragic if it was your only insulin. And so you want to make sure to have your prescription so they could call the pharmacy if they needed to and ensure that it is, in fact, a prescribed medicine that you have to live on. So other than insulin, I would say the other really important thing that you need to take with you is sugar, especially if you're flying and if it's a long flight, you want to take a ton of sugar. Yes, the airplanes have Coke and, drinks with sugar, but you don't want to rely on them. You just don't, trust me. And I personally like to take instant glucose on the plane because I don't want to be messing with anything, want to get any scary situations on an airplane and have to make the plane stop, right? So I always take lots of sugar with me. So I will take a full glucose tablet container. So there's 50 tablets in here, which that's a lot. That would be me going low constantly. But I always take at least one of these because I want to make sure that I'm prepared just in case I start to go low on the plane. And then I also am taking some gummy bears because we don't always want to be eating glucose tablets. So also gummy bears filled with sugar and glucose tablets. So I truly believe those are the two most important things that we have to take with us when we're traveling: extra insulin and sugar. The good thing about sugar is that obviously if you're going somewhere, they're probably going to have snacks, that you can grab, like a grocery store, wherever you're traveling to, that you can get sugar at. So you don't have to take like loads and loads of sugar, but you want to make sure it's in your carry-on bag. So on the plane, you don't run into any issues. Obviously airports have, convenience stores and all of that. So it's really just, you want to be prepared for the airplane. The other thing that I would say is really important, and this is really just dependent on the person, of course, but is your CGM. So I'm only going to Canada for 5 days, and I just put on my Dexcom 2 days ago. So it's not going to expire while I am in Canada. However, once again, you have no idea what's going to happen on the trip. It could fall off, it could break, it could, I don't even know, stop working where you need to replace it. So you want to always take an extra one of these. And then of course, once again, like I was mentioning earlier, if I were to happen to get stuck in Canada, I need an extra. I recommend taking at least one extra, if not 2 or 3. I know sometimes it doesn't work that way with prescriptions and pharmacies. You might just not have 2 or 3 to take with you, but I would take more than one extra if you can, because it doesn't hurt, is the way I look at it. And then I would also actually, with your Dexcom or whatever CGM you use, I would take a transmitter, because if you're going to a beach, for example, and you go in the water and your Dexcom flies off along with the waves, your transmitter is going with it. So don't only bring an applicator, also bring a transmitter. Another really important item to take with you on your trips is glucagon. If you don't have a prescription for glucagon, you should go get one immediately from your endocrinologist. They will prescribe one to every type 1 diabetic. And it's really important to take with you on trips, because if you happen to go low, you want to be prepared to solve that issue, or somebody you're with, needs to be able to know how to use a glucagon on you, and hopefully nothing like that would ever happen, but you always got to be prepared with this disease. So definitely take something like a glucagon with you, whether it's, the insert, the nasal spray, the breather thing, I don't know what they're all called, but make sure you take your glucagon with you and teach your friend or partner or parents or whoever is going with you on your trip how to use one, just in case the extreme happens. Of course, you can always call 911 and the ambulance will have glucagon in the ambulance truck. But once again, when you're in a new country, you have no idea what's going to happen. And so I highly recommend being prepared and taking a glucagon with you. So this is heavy. So another thing you want to take with you in your carry-on bag is just regular snacks. So yes, we have our insulin and we have our low snacks like the sugar, but we need also other snacks to help maintain your blood sugar if it drops. And so that can really be your choice of snack item that you want to take. However, I am a packaged snack type of person. And so I have cheese snacks, which if you watched my snack video, you already know about these. And you'll know about these. Monk Pack, I have a few of these in my bag. I have actually a Cliff Bar because this has sugar and protein. So it's also great to take if you're going low, but then we'll hopefully keep you level after that. I have some Catalina Crunch, right? So you want to make sure to take as much food with you as possible, which, you know, sometimes it might seem like we're crazy, but you got to take all this stuff. So make sure to take insulin, sugar of your choice. I recommend taking glucose tabs and gummies and all of that rather than like chocolate or something. And then, of course, we're taking regular snacks as well to help after a low. So we're back in my bathroom because I wanted to show you my other insulin case that I was talking about earlier and what I include in it. So I actually have one of these, which is amazing. It's from Glucology, and it's great because you can keep all of your necessary items in here. So as you can see, I have my other Humalog pen in here. I will be adding my Vascular pen, so I'll do that here. You want to have your needles, make sure to take a lot of needles as well to match the 3 to 4 months of insulin you'll be taking. So you need to be taking a lot of needles with you. I put a lot in here, but then I'll also take another bag of needles as well to be prepared. I also have diet wipes to wipe before I take my insulin. I have some over patches for my Dexcom. Let's see what else I got in here. I got lots of stuff. And then, oh, so the other thing I didn't mention, which is in my bag, and I totally forgot to show you, is your pricker. Right, very, very important. Because if your CGM stops working, once again, for whatever reason, and you forgot a backup and whatever, you need your pricker. And so do not forget that, and make sure to take extra test strips. So I take usually 2 of these, which there's a lot in here. I don't even know, 50 test strips in here. So I'll take 100 because once again, you just don't know, and you don't want to be without test strips. Hopefully the country you're going to has this stuff at pharmacies just in case you ever were to need it. But once again, we don't know because every country is different. If you're not used to, you know, traveling a lot, you need to make sure to be extra prepared. I mean, it sounds bad, but you need to be like worst case scenario prepared when it comes to type 1 diabetes. So I keep that in here. And then I also, see here, I have already another glucagon, but then I also take some medical IDs that I will wear when I'm running and just around town. So I have an Apple Watch, and on it, it says type 1 diabetes. So I wear that all day, every day. So if, you know, for some reason I were to pass out, somebody would know I have type 1 diabetes. You can get chain necklaces, you can get bracelets, people have tattoos. I mean, there's so many, you know, things you can do to have a medical ID, dog tag type of thing. But I also recommend getting like some of these because they're easy just to throw on. And once again, you don't want to risk somebody not knowing what's wrong with you. And so I take a lot of these. I actually have a black one and a red one in here to like match my outfits and whatnot. But I always wear these when I'm running too, because obviously we all know cardio is a trigger for lows. So I just want to be extra prepared just in case. So once again, this is the case I take. You can use any case you want to take. It doesn't really matter as long as you feel like you have everything you need plus some. Don't forget the plus some. It's really crucial to take extra insulin, extra test strips, extra needles, extra. And it might sound crazy to take 3 to 4 months, but trust me on this one. So the last thing I want to mention that I would recommend taking with you on your trip is a doctor's note, especially for international travel. Because I've mentioned this a few times, every country is different. Not everyone knows, you know, what our insulin looks like in the United States. And so you want to have a doctor's note proving that you have type 1 diabetes, which I know is sad. It's not like something we want to be approving, but we have to be prepared for that as well to show to airport security, to the government, to whoever wants to see it. I would recommend having that. And your endocrinologist should be willing to give that to you at any time. You can email them, you can call them. You don't necessarily have to go in for an appointment, but I recommend getting a doctor's note as well. So that is my tips and tricks for traveling within the country and internationally. Really, the biggest thing I think is just to take extra of everything. Extra, 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 just in case you happen to get stuck in the country or stuck wherever you are, or someone takes it or you lose it, or whatever the case is. Take extra insulin, take extra needles, take extra CGMs, take extra pumps, take extra vials, take extra test strips. All of the above you want to take extra of. It might seem like a lot, it might seem annoying, but our health is number one priority here. And so we really need to make sure that we take care of ourselves while we are traveling. So if I forgot anything here, or if you guys have any other recommendations for the people watching, please put them below, because I was just looking at my bag and I'm like, what else do I have? I feel like I'm missing something. So let me know if there's something that you take along with you as well to ensure a safe travel experience with type 1 diabetes. So comment that below. Appreciate you guys watching. Stay tuned for more details on my Canada trip. And I can't wait to see you guys in the next video. All right, bye.